A little teaser of what is to come on today's show. CBS Sports dropped a new 2-round mock draft. We'll see who they have the Browns taking at pick 42. Plus, ESPN dropped an article with best fits for all 50 top free agents. And who do they have the Browns landing? Also, before we get into the show, make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss a thing when it comes to free agency or the draft. Plus, I want to reach 18,000 subscribers by the time we reach the draft, and we are 812 subs away. So please help me reach that goal by clicking onto that sub button and getting the best Browns YouTube content available. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. We've got a fun show planned out for everyone today. Now, quick PSA, this was filmed on Wednesday, the 22nd, so if anything changed in the last, 24, 48 hours, bear with me. But let's start things off by looking at ESPN's free agent best fit for the top 50 guys, and they have Jessie Bates going to the Cleveland Browns. That's who they deemed as the best fit for the Bengals safety. Now, Jim Schwartz's defense does rely on, well, that's kind of, I realized, counterintuitive, strong free safety play. Not strong safety, just really good free safety play on his defense. It's something that was a big part of what was a winning defense in Philadelphia, and I'm sure he'd like to continue that over to Cleveland. Bates, as we know, has been one of the best safeties in football the last 4 seasons. He's a do-it-all guy. He's an excellent run stopper, but he's also a ball hawk, right? Go back to 2020, 15 pass breakups, 3 interceptions. This past season, 4 picks, 8 PBUs. He is simply a jack of all trades in the safety position. Now, here's what ESPN's Matt Bowen said about Jessie Bates. Bates has the post and split field range to cover some grass, along with the scheme versatility to play from depth or spin down in coverage. He logged 4 interceptions and 8 pass breakups last year in Cincinnati, and he has posted 14 career interceptions over 5 pro seasons. The big question is, yeah, of course the Browns would like to have all these good players, but can they afford all of them? The Browns, in my opinion, are going to clear enough cap space to be able to land one big ticket free agent in that range of 17 to 20 million. I don't see them going over 20 million. They're probably going to get about 30 to 35 million dollars in cap space. They don't want to just make one signing and call it a day. They've got some other holes to fill. So if Jessie Bates is going to get 20 or so plus million in free agency, the Browns might be out of the running if that's the case. But be Andrew Berry for me. Go to Berea, sit in a seat, and let me know. Should the Browns sign Jessie Bates? Y for yes or N for no? It's the pinned comment. So just scroll on down and give me your reply. When it comes to signing Jessie Bates, I wouldn't be upset with that. I don't think anyone would have a temper tantrum and say this was a horrible move. But I like Grant Delpit, and I like the way he's playing, and I think he is very much on his way to getting a decent payday. So it would be a bit of a bummer if they signed Jessie Bates. Grant Delpit continues to be awesome, and now they really have not enough money to go around, and Delpit ends up walking. Because Grant Delpit, let's go back to last season. He had a rough start to the year, right? Weeks 1 through 8, the first half, he gave up 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. PFF graded him 56. That's not good. But the second half of the year, he was a borderline Pro Bowl safety, in my opinion. Just 107 yards allowed, cut it in half, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and his PFF grade shot up from 56 to 65.9. This might be a bit of an unpopular opinion. I'm a big fan of Grant Delpit, and I think Grant Delpit can get the safety room where it needs to be somewhat by himself, at least as the best player. I just don't think safety is as big as a need as some people believe it to be. I'm not all that nervous about rolling with Grant Delpit and DeAnthony Bell, a cheaper free agent, or a draft pick as your safety room if they cut John Johnson. I'd rather see that $17 to $20 million, that one big ticket free agency, go to the defensive line. Now, we got a mock draft to review in just a second, but I want to give a quick shout out to the big man. The big man sent in a super thanks. Really appreciate that. He said, "You guys are my favorite, and thank you for all that you guys do. Big man, you're big man on campus here at the channel. Thank you so much for that super thanks. And hey, if you like the free content, hit that super thanks icon. It's got the little heart with the $sign in it. And feel free to send a contribution our way. It goes a long way for sure. Appreciate you, big man. All right, next up on the show, CBS Sports dropped a 2-round NFL mock draft because they're not cowards like the guys at ESPN who only do 1-round mock drafts, and then we have to twiddle our thumbs wondering, what are the Browns going to do at 42? So shout out to CBS Sports for having some stones. Now, here's who they had the Browns picking at 42. It's the nose tackle from Baylor out of Waco, Texas, Siaka Ika. That is their selection for the 42nd overall pick in the draft. Now, some background information on Ika. He was a 2022 All-Big 12 first-team player, and he is a monster of a human being. He is ginormous. 6'4", 358 pounds. Now, the funny thing about when we look at all these draft player profiles and the sizes and whatnot, we're like, this guy's huge. How is he not going to be awesome? Well, it's the NFL. They're all really big and tall and fast. But he is on the more, like, the higher percentile. Now, he spent 2 seasons at Baylor after transferring from LSU. And in those 2 seasons, he accumulated 48 tackles, 8 of which were for loss, 3.5 sacks, and 3 pass breakups. But here's what makes him a bit unique, is when we look at Andrew Berry's draft history, he's had 3 drafts so far. He's picked 3 defensive tackles. The biggest one was Jordan Elliott. These are their sizes, their heights and weights from the combine. 302 pounds for Elliott. Ike is 50-plus pounds bigger. So this would be a big leap for Andrew Berry to go a different direction because he's always gone the direction of, let's go for somewhat slimmer defensive tackles who can help in the pass rush and not be guys who don't fill up the stat sheet, but instead, eat up guards and centers so linebackers can do their job in the backfield. When it comes to his draft profile, he's got great gap clogging size. What does that mean? He's not going to be a guy that pops off for 10 sacks. That is not what you are drafting or what you're getting out of him. Instead, he's going to allow other guys to get 10 sacks. He's going to fly under the radar, but he's going to be one of those very important pieces to your defense. But he needs to improve his endurance and stamina. When you're 358 pounds, it's tough to play for 4 quarters. It's a lot on your body. So he definitely could, afford to lose 15, 20 pounds, get his endurance up so he can come a little bit closer to an every down player and not be gassed out in the 4th quarter and get blown off the football. So that's kind of my pros and cons for Ike. Now, grade the pick. A, B, C, D, or F. If the name is read for the Browns at 42 overall, and this is it, how are we feeling about that? Let me know in the comment section below. Personally, I'd give it a B+. I don't think he is an absolute game wrecker. I think he is a very, very good defensive tackle, a good nose tackle, something the Browns need. But if you're expecting him to come in there and have multiple tackles for loss and be chasing down running backs in the backfield, that's not what you're getting. But he's definitely going to make life on the rest of his defense a lot easier, and they can do their jobs a lot better.